Buy nothing? Not so fast. There's a movement growing across the United States called the Buy Nothing movement. It's also sometimes called the Buy Nothing Rebellion. Customers are getting increasingly frustrated and angry over some of the business practices and product offerings that don't deliver on what they promise. The Buy Nothing Rebellion is their response. Hello, I'm Mike Lynch, and I've identified 13 areas where consumers are getting increasingly fed up. I'm just going to touch on each of these here, but I'll be going through each of them more in greater detail in the videos to come. But let me be clear here. I'm not out to trash the kind of capitalism that has brought prosperity to so many people. We all want companies that offer quality goods and services to succeed. Instead, I'm going after the more nefarious business practices that are causing consumers to rebel. Some of these practices are quite new. Now, there have always been bad actors in our economic system, as with any economic system. I want to go over the ones that are irritating the most people lately. Let's get into it. Number one, fast food and fast casual dining. Let's start with fast food. I'm including here casual dining as well, with chains like Cracker Barrel, Applebee's, and Denny's. Here we have the perfect storm of rising prices, smaller portion sizes, and deteriorating product quality. Add to that deteriorating service quality, mostly owing to reductions in staff at many establishments. Part of this can be attributed to the COVID pandemic and to inflation during the first part of this decade. But many consumers have sensed that there is more to this problem than that. One big problem that is getting increasingly noticed is that many chain restaurants have been acquired by private equity firms. There'll be a lot to say about this in a future video. But the bottom line here is that after such acquisitions, the new owners usually try to squeeze every dollar they can out of the establishment, and this has a direct impact on the experience you have when you dine out. Number two, groceries. Consumers are also increasingly upset and frustrated over the price of groceries, like the price of eggs. As with fast food, we are experiencing higher prices and diminishing quality, and it is getting harder to buy food at what was once reasonable prices. Some consumers suspect that what we are experiencing in grocery stores is sticky inflation. That is, while wholesale food prices may have dropped, retail supermarkets are slow to bring their prices down. This is one reason why lower price chains like Aldi's and big box stores like Costco have done so well. Number three, new automobiles. New automobiles are another area of concern for consumers. The 2026 model year for many brands is doing very badly at the dealerships. And this is due in part to the perception that the cars are super expensive, poorly made, not very reliable, and over reliant on smart technology. Car brands vary in how bad this gets, but the dissatisfaction levels are definitely rising. One part of this is the manufacturer's desire to push some of the features of the automobile into subscription services. Now, we're used to this with subscription services like SiriusXM, where we don't mind paying premium prices for premium content. But several luxury brands actually want you to pay extra, for example, for a subscription just to heat up the seats in the car you just purchased. BMW tried this a couple of years ago, but the backlash was so serious that they withdrew that feature. Nevertheless, automobile manufacturers continue to explore different ways of getting money from the consumer long after you buy the vehicle. More on this later on. Number four, subscriptions. And speaking of subscription, this is another area that's become a major irritation for consumers. Where you once perhaps paid one time for a product, especially a software product, now you need to spend money every month in order to be able to make use of the software. Probably no one is more guilty of this than Adobe, but many software publishers have moved to a subscription model to use their products. These add up, and consumers are often surprised at how big their monthly subscription bills have become. To address this, companies like Experian, the credit reporting firm, and Rocket Money offer applications to let you identify all your subscriptions and cancel the ones you don't use. The subscription problem also includes streaming services. Not so many years ago, we thought we had cut the cable, trying to reduce our monthly cable bill. Well, it snuck back in, and now we have a large variety of streaming services to choose from. You can't just get the content you want from a single source. The amount people pay for the streaming they want can get very expensive very quickly. Number five, upgrades. Do you buy a new iPhone or Samsung Galaxy every year? Many people do, and this runs into real money. Sure, you can get credit for the old trade-in model so that you're not paying the full retail price, but the mobile phone carriers get the money back through your monthly payments. Have you noticed that your phone bill isn't that low? Upgrades can also be a problem for software products. Many software applications go through major version upgrades every year or two, with new features promised with each release. But this comes at a cost, and not only in the money paid for the upgrade. The version will likely use more system resources on your computer, and as your machine ages, its ability to run the new version may degrade. Also, the new version may have new features that you don't need, cluttering up the interface, making the app harder to use and breaking your muscle memory that you've come to rely on. This doesn't always happen, of course, and the new version may in fact be an improvement. But when it isn't, it becomes what programmers call bloatware. Number 6, right to repair. Also somewhat related to the problems of subscription services is the matter of right to repair. The right to repair movement is largely spearheaded by farmers who want to be able to fix their own tractors and other farm equipment. The John Deere Company, long renowned for the quality of their products and for how long they've been on the scene, decided not so many years ago to lock down how farmers can go about repairing their gear. Farmers have always been able to repair their tractors and they have the skills and the tools to do it. But John Deere decided that their now highly computerized control systems would not be available for farmers to tinker with. Farmers would now need to use only John Deere authorized repair services to fix their equipment. Now, this costs real money for farmers if they have to wait days or weeks for a repair that they could otherwise have done themselves. That translates to missing the spring planting window or missing the fall harvesting window, resulting in serious economic hardship for farmers. Recently, John Deere lost a major lawsuit over this very issue. It remains to be seen where this goes in the future, but we'll keep an eye on it. Number 7, concerts and movies. Another problem area are concert and movie ticket prices. The high price of concerts, even leaving Taylor Swift out for the moment, has to do with the dismal state of the present day music business. While the numbers look good on paper, when correcting for inflation, the industry has actually shrunk. But it's worse for the artists. Today's recording artists are earning much less through streaming than they ever did back when consumers bought physical media like CDs and vinyl. Accordingly, many artists have to make their money touring, one driver of higher ticket prices. But then there's Ticketmaster. Besides buying the ticket itself, you're burdened with fees like service fees, facility charges, order processing fees, and sometimes delivery fees. These generally add 20 to 30% to the price of the ticket itself. The good news is that they are increasingly facing scrutiny into their monopolistic business practices. Movie theaters have also been feeling the pinch. People are staying away in droves. Today's theaters have upped their game in recent years with comfortable reclining seats, snack trays, great projection technology, and great sound systems. But these have to compete with home theaters where you can watch a movie on an 80-inch screen with 5.1 sound. The fact that there have been a succession of bombs and flops in recent years certainly has not helped matters. Number 8, appliances. Now let's look at appliances big and small. Ask any repairman and they will tell you that most present-day appliances are junk. A refrigerator may last you only a few years. In the past, a simple box refrigerator might easily last 20 years or more. No longer. Today's refrigerators may last at most about 8 years with care, and many will die sooner than that. The ice maker in particular is likely to die much sooner than that, maybe in a year or two. This complaint applies to many major appliances: refrigerators, stoves, dishwashers, washing machines, dryers, gas grills, and so forth. It also extends to the smaller appliances you have in your kitchen, like microwave ovens and blenders. Nothing seems to be built to last anymore. Number 9, smart TVs. Smart TVs are another hot button issue. They can be slow, the interfaces can be awkward and difficult to use, and quite frankly are not built as well as they used to be. So they'll be dying sooner. Also, did you know that your smart TV is spying on you? It takes data periodically about what you're watching and forwards the data to the manufacturer. That data is then used to target marketing toward you based on your viewing habits. Seems rather frightening, and more on that in the future clip. Number 10, fast fashion. Another product category that doesn't appear to be designed to last very long is clothing. There is a category called fast fashion, where the clothing begins to disintegrate after just a few cleanings or washings. The reasoning behind this is that it's fast fashion, and what you're going to be buying now will be out of fashion in less than a year. So if it disintegrates sooner than that, who cares? But this problem extends to the kind of shoes and clothing that you hope will last longer. There's a reason why vintage clothing stores have done well in recent years. Besides wanting to look hip, people are looking for value, and that value can be found in clothing made 5, 10, or even 20 years ago. Number 11, luxury vacations. Luxury vacations have also become a major issue for working and middle class consumers. Two particularly sore spots stand out: Disney World, including Disneyland, and Las Vegas. It is very easy for a family of four to spend over $1,000 a day at Disney World, and it can go much higher than that. Las Vegas, for its part, seems to have abandoned middle class and working class consumers looking for a good time in favor of catering to the wealthy. As a result, many people are making other plans. Number 12, miscellaneous mystery fees. One common complaint, especially for vacation travel, has to do with the imposition of various fees that never used to be charged. Resort fees, service fees, convenient fees, and whatever other creative names hotels and casinos can come up with to get tacked onto your bill. What you thought was a $99 a night stay in a Las Vegas hotel can easily become twice that once all the fees are factored in. Many resorts have started to even charge for parking, which, since the founding of Las Vegas, has always been free. Number 13, new houses. Finally, let's talk about new houses. Affordability has become a major issue for housing in the United States. The reasons why housing has become so unaffordable in many markets are many and varied, but the basic problem facing the millennial generation and the Generation Z is that affording a house is now seemingly completely out of reach. But the problem also goes to the quality of the houses getting built. You can find any number of videos on YouTube by building inspectors showing the many deficiencies in homes that even cost upwards of $1 million. Poor quality construction that is going to fall apart quickly and lead to expensive repairs later on. So the quality that you pay for a newly constructed house has become an issue too. Wrapping up, in a nutshell, these are some of the major areas where consumers are voicing their displeasure or even their rage. Buying nothing is hardly new. The related lifestyle trend called minimalism embraces the idea of less is more, that you don't need to add a lot of clutter to your life to live well. Famously, Henry David Thoreau wrote Walden in the year 1854, in which he advocates for a simple, uncluttered life. Simplify, simplify was his motto. We also see this attitude embraced in many religious traditions, both in the East and in the West. But one aspect of the Buy Nothing Rebellion is new. It comes from a realization that mindless consumerism and a willingness to tolerate mediocre or lousy products does not lead to happiness. It also comes from a realization that more than a few multinational corporations are engaged in unethical or, in some cases, downright illegal practices. But is there a downside to all this? Let's reduce this down to the level of absurdity. If no one bought anything, there would be no businesses and no jobs, no stores and no restaurants. Obviously, that's not going to happen. We still need food, shelter, energy, and transportation, among other things. In our quest to save money and improve our lives and to make ends meet in a tough economic environment, we don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater. There is plenty in our capitalist system that can be improved upon. We know that the marketplace is imperfect. Informed consumers can do their part to make the products and services they need better than they are now. In the end, the customer is king. Everything we've talked about can be made better once consumers put pressure on manufacturers, publishers, elected officials, government bureaucrats, and other involved parties. This is what can lead to genuine improvement across these categories. If you like this sort of content, please click the like button and subscribe. In the days and weeks ahead, I will be presenting more detailed information about each of these areas that are fueling the Buy Nothing Rebellion. Again, I'm Michael Lynch, and thank you for your attention.